All right, let's talk about one of Brawl Stars' OGs, a brawler who can totally flip a losing fight with just one single chord. We're tuning up and diving deep into the one and only Poco. You know the scene, right? You're in a frantic firefight, gems are on the line, everybody's health is just dropping like a rock. It is absolute chaos. And in that moment, what you need most isn't more damage. No, you need to survive. You need a lifeline.
And that lifeline is this guy. See, Poco doesn't just play music for fun. He basically weaponizes it for good. He is the ultimate musical medic, built from the ground up to be the answer to that chaos, keeping his team standing when they should be falling.
So let's break down his whole deal. Poco is, of course, a support brawler, and his title, El Mariachi, just fits him perfectly, doesn't it? He brings the style, and more importantly, he brings the heals. Okay, so just look at these stats for a second. You can really see the trade-off, right? His health is pretty solid at 7,400, so he can take a punch. But his damage? Oof, just 1520. And that tells you everything you need to know. He's not here to win 1v1s. He's here to win games with his core strength, that immense team-wide healing.
So how does this all come together in his kit? Well, this is where Poco really starts conducting his healing symphony. And it's all centered on one of the most powerful abilities in the entire game.
His super is called Encore, and it is the ultimate healing chorus. We're talking a massive wave of instant health that cannot be blocked by anything. If your teammates are in trouble behind a wall, it just doesn't matter. Poco's music is going to find them. And when we say massive, we mean it. Just look at these numbers. At max level, that is 4,200 health restored. Instantly. For a lot of brawlers, that's more than half their health back in a split second, completely undoing a huge enemy attack. This isn't a trickle, it's a flood. But wait, there's more. A quick burst heal isn't his only trick. You know, a true maestro has more than one instrument in the orchestra. And Poco's kit gives you some really interesting options. So as a Poco player, you get a really big choice here. Do you need more sustain? Or do you need a very specific solution? Tuning Fork is great for those long, drawn-out fights, just giving you a constant stream of health. But Protective Tunes? Oh man, that's your silver bullet. Against a Crow's Poison, a Frank Stun, a Lose Freeze, this gadget just says nope and shuts down their biggest threat. And if you want to go all in on that consistent healing, then you've got Doc Apo. This star power is a total game changer. It makes his basic attack also heal teammates for over 1,000 health. It turns him into this relentless healing machine, even when his super isn't ready. Okay, so we've pretty much established that Poco is, arguably the best pure healer in the game. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? There's this surprising, crescendo in his kit that can catch people completely off guard.
So that really makes you ask, right? Is healing all this guy can do? Is he just a support? Or is there maybe room for a little aggression?
And this is where you, the player, have to make a huge decision that defines your entire playstyle. We already talked about Da Capo, the pure support route, but its counterpart, Screeching Solo? Whoa, it completely flips the script. It adds 1,520 damage to his super. Now that giant, wall-piercing wave doesn't just heal, it hurts. You're not just a healer anymore, you're a hybrid. So you're probably thinking, how do you even use this? It's not for starting fights, let me tell you. It's for ending them. Picture this. An enemy ducks behind a wall with just a tiny bit of health left. With Screeching Solo, you can heal your teammate who's pushing up and finish off that hidden enemy in one genius move. It is an amazing tactical option. Okay, so we've got all these musical notes. How do we put them together to make a masterpiece? Let's get into strategy. Mastering Poco is all about conducting your team, about being in the perfect position to get the most out of every single ability. Here are 4 things you absolutely need to nail down. 1, always think about your angles. Especially with Da Capo, you want to try and hit both your friends and your enemies. 2, remember your job. You're there to keep your team alive, period. 3, be the counter. Spot the enemy that Protective Tunes shuts down and save it for them. And 4, find a tank. A Poco healing a Frank or an El Primo is, well, it's pretty much an unstoppable force. So that super is obviously a game changer. How often can you actually use it? Well, it takes just 4 hits with his main attack to fully charge it up. And here's why that little number is so huge.
His attack has this massive widespread. It's super easy to clip multiple enemies with one shot, which means you can often charge that super in just 2 or 3 attacks. You get a near constant flow of that life-saving support. You know, Poco isn't some new kid on the block. He is a true Brawl Stars original, and when you look at his long history, you can see how he's constantly evolved to stay relevant year after year.
Just look at his journey. He started out way back in 2017 as that pure healer we all know. Then, bam, 2019, Screeching Solo gives him that surprise damage option. 2020, gadgets add more layers. And then, most recently, in 2024, he hit a whole new level with his Hypercharge.
His Hypercharge, Medic's Melody, man, this thing is the ultimate support tool. Because now, if you heal an ally who's already at full health, guess what? None of that healing goes to waste. It turns into a temporary shield, letting you give your team an extra layer of defense before a fight even starts.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's simple, really. Poco is the definition of a force multiplier. He makes every single brawler on his team better, tougher, and just harder to kill. He might not get the most kills himself, but you feel his impact in every single team fight.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. In a game that's so often about aggression and pure damage, could the ability to simply undo all that damage be the most powerful and maybe the most underrated weapon in the entire game? Let me know what you think.